Okay, for this video, I'm actually going to be carrying on with the Rogal Dorn. Now, this next part is going to be quite interesting because I've got my turret. Now, I haven't decided which main armament I want yet, so that's still up in the air. But what I do know I want to do with this one is I want it to be for my Necromundan 11th Armour Company. Just tidying up a few little bits that I realised I didn't do a good job of before. Yeah, but basically, it's going to be part of my Necromundan 11th Armour Company, which means I need some suitable crew. I've made a decision that I don't want it to be a gang style thing. I have seen some fantastically done gangland, graffiti ridden tanks, and they look absolutely amazing. However, I want to actually make this part of my fluff that I always had behind my Necromundan 11th years ago when I had them, an entire armour company that I had to sell due to moving house, and basically I needed extra money to buy a house, and it got me the extra money that I needed selling my entire collection. Anyway, part of the fluff behind them at the time was that they were heavily affiliated with the Van Saar. I couldn't do what I wanted back then. So basically, I couldn't do exactly the style that I wanted, which was basically having a load of Van Saar on it because they were all metal and it was just expensive to do. Anyway, I'm digressing, but let's get on. So this is me actually putting some optional extras on this now. So starting to build the turrets in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take some Van Saar that I have stripped off all the paint from. You can see I've got loads of bits of Van Saar here. And I'm going to basically turn them into the crew. So it's going to be quite a bit of work. On top of that, in a future video, I'm going to actually try and add some features to this that makes it feel like it's been enhanced by the Van Saar like unique technology. So again, that's going to be a future little thing. Let's start off though with the basics. So these are the things that you can just do yourself for whatever crew members, or so if you're going for Cadian, then all of this basically just starts out the same. I'm going to start off by just getting these main hull plates, what are they called now, hatches ready for the crew. So I've got 85 and 117 I need, so let me find 85 and 117. So there's 85. It's a bit of a difficult one to cut out, this, so I'll get as good as I can and then just gently clean it up. Right, so then 117, which is one of the rings over here. Said I don't want this to look like a bunch of gangers just grabbed hold of it and messed it up. That's not what I'm going for here. I'm very specifically going for that, advanced technology that comes with being Van Saar. But as we know with Van Saar technology, it, spits some pretty deadly stuff out. There's no other way to put it. It's not good for your health, Van Saar technology. So let me just start off by getting this part tidied up. I think as well, if I do ever get some Lehman Russ, the aim will be to go for things like executioners, plasma technology, basically. I just feel that's very fitting to the Van Saar. Though I'm going to point out, I absolutely love their radiation cannons. Those red cannons are, not exactly strong on the initial shot, but they're not supposed to be. It's what happens afterwards, the slow death from basically infectious technology. Okay. So I'm going to have a good think about how I'm going to add little bits of stuff to this to make it feel Van Saar. Now, I have been thinking about what makes something look Van Saar, and there are some little appearances, little clues in their appearances that really works, like cabling coming off their parts of their skull, and I'm wondering if I can use that to suggest that they're physically plugged into the tank. So to some extent, they're kind of like gonna end up with some similar features of a servitor, you know. So they'll interact with the technology a lot more directly, maybe. Anyway, so yeah, I think there's definitely some things that I want to do to this tank that's going to feel highly unique. Okay, let's slot these two together and make sure I've slotted them in the right way. So yeah, there we go, go together like that. Let's click that now. Put it upside down there. Okay. So that's like little stage 1, and then 87 is the top hatch. I'm not actually going to connect this yet until I've had a chance to just, you know, properly work out how the crew member's going to go into it. So this is gonna, basically you can either glue it upright and open, or you can glue it flat. I'm gonna leave it flat for now, but I'm not gonna glue it, so I can make a definite decision about how I want to pop that in later. However, you can attach this into here. Now let's just have a feel. What I'm going to do first, let's get this the right way around anyway. So that one, yeah, it's going to attach like that. I will glue that part in right away. Just going to rest that on top for now. so that it's done. Okay, now moving on to the second 84 over here. A level a bet that these are interchangeable as well. They look like they've got similar clip-on points. And 122. It's over here for its lock-on point. Again, you can glue it closed if you want, if you're not inclined to have the crew sticking out the top. But since I need my crew sticking out the top, my intention is to eventually glue that down, but open. Okay. Let's start putting nice little pieces on here just to, you know, decide what's going where and how it's going to look. Now we've got the main turrets kind of assembled now, the main turret places. I'm not going to start doing the crew yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of carry on building certain parts of it. Right, so in order to do this, I'm going to look at, you know, different kits to see what kind of things I can add to make this look like, well, basically a Necromundan vehicle. Now, don't get me wrong, in order to do that, I'm going to have to kind of dive into some different, basically some different kits that I've got. So I've got a bits box of all different stuff, really. That's the best way to describe it. So, got to really decide what parts are going in. I'm going to start off by getting this antenna out because it's a good size, and if I use this as a starting point, this is 140. Is that 140? No, it's 12. I swear that's 140, that part, but... And then I need 139. Yeah, 140 and 139. Okay, now, oh, the fun of trying to tidy up a very thin piece of a model. You know what, let me just check something. I don't like that. I don't like plastic antennae. They look weird, to be quite honest. I'll probably replace that with copper later. Okay, so that is going to pop onto that part here. Yeah, probably best take those away for now. So you want the way around. Okay, and then this part. Popping under there. I'll sort of just deciding what other little bits I can do before I move on to starting altering it to make it look a bit different. Now, there's quite a few little bits that can go on this now. So we've got kind of things like 88, which goes into here. I'm trying to work out what that is actually. Some kind of scanner or sensor potentially. Then we've got things like 99 and 98, which will create a lamp. Right. So let's see here. Just actually looking if I've got anything in my bits box that will make a better lamp. So a more Necromundan style lantern. Now I'm wondering if that would look better. Second, this is where you want to just sort of play around, see what goes where. Ooh. And just kind of, you know, look about really and decide what you like. So if I get 88 off just to begin with, just for a second. Just going to try and work out what this thing is. It could be anything, this, couldn't it? It could be a scanner, it could be... Now, let's see what happens if I kind of look at attaching this to it here. Ooh. So I think this is actually part of a Knight Armature Warglaive. So I could potentially attach it. I potentially attach it right across the front. Might need to play around with a couple of bits of it. Just want to add some. Oh gosh, just want to add something that looks different to it. So as you can see here, if I can get that to attach over the top, it's going to look quite a good addition. Just got to cut it down in just the right positioning. So if I start off here with this part, get my cutting mat actually. Where's my cutting mat gone? Let's see how this sort of feels sliding over the top of this, just to add a bit of appearance. So I think it's a tough one because it can work on either side of here, but I think it fits best on this side. It's difficult trying to work out where to put these things. I know that I want this on here. I think it's going to look very good, but I think what I've got to do is I've got to finish flattening the back of it. I'll go with that. So that's that little bit added in. Sliding everywhere. There we go. Just changes it up a tiny bit from the, you know, the basic standard. There's no other way to put it. Now, just in a minor way, it's given it a different appearance. Okay, so I'll have that one on that side. I'm just looking outwards. Simple things sometimes, you know, just make minor changes. Okay. So now let's move on to this light. So we need 98 and 99 to do the light. It's 99. So let's see how this looks, and then I'll decide if I want to do any alterations to it. No, I think that's fine. I think that's got perfectly okay look to it. It's just standard. Okay. Now, there's one more towards the back, and I'm going to assume that's for the little 122. Let's have a quick look here. Let's see. Oh, that can be for a stub gun by the look of it, so we'll see how that one goes. Now, we want to put 113 on. Let me find that. It's like a kind of little handle point. What I assume is going to be for a weapon to be mounted over here later on. Now we got 109, 108, 113. Let's see if it's here. Might be on a different sprue. Oh no, there it is, 113. hop over this side, latch onto there. There we go. Right, we're getting there. I'm just trying to decide what else I could add to this now to, you know, enhance its appearance. But I think so far, I think things will kind of come to me as I do them. Like, I'll think, oh, I've got a bit. It might just about fit. Okay. So let's start having a look now. Let's see what else we've got to build up on this. So on the back here, there's a little grill to go on. Now, that is 130 and it's this one here. Now, this one, I think, I'm going to have a look, but I suspect it can either go upright I think this is where someone can stand on it, you see, and fire a weapon. So it can either be flat, I think, yeah, flat outwards, or folded up. Gotta make sure you tidy this up though, otherwise it's not going to fit at all. See how this settles in. Yeah, so down to allow for a firing position, up to be folded inwards. Well, here's my next question then. Do I have a Van Saar who first of all will fit on it and looks like he's standing there? I don't think I really do have someone like that, not properly. I do have some that could potentially fit on here. I'm not sure if I want to do that yet. You can see here, but they wouldn't really be holding onto the weapon. So I think in this case, because I don't have an intention of spending hours and hours and hours repositioning a Van Saar, I'm going to keep that closed up. Gosh, there's always something else to do. Let's have a keep check. Let's keep checking and see what else we can put on this thing. So we've got things like pintle mounted weapons that we can quite happily attach. I'm going to go for one that's basically not held on by anyone. But I think, oh gosh, my back's killing me. I'm in a really weird position. I've been sat for far too long. Let me just have a quick check here. I want to see if I've got a Van Saar who fits well inside one of these. So the problem that you get with the Necromundan models is they're frequently very dynamically posed. So you've got to really, you know, however you're doing them, you've got to make sure that they look like they belong. Now, I could have that guy there and he looks like he's, you know, shooting off his own personal weapon. You know, I think it's always a difficult thing with these kind of ones. Really what I've got to look out for is how I want him to feel, you know, like how I want the crewmen. In fact, there's female Van Saar gangers, so there's crew women as well. How I want them to look, how I want them to feel. Let me have a good look around at the different Van Saars that I've got. So, see, I've got a body here just independently. I could potentially start using that one as a good build-up point. So don't drop things. So let's see what I can do. Let's see what kind of positions I can put people in and how they can be positioned. So I think good thing about a lot of Saar is they have a few sort of, you know, easy to position arms, and it's just really a matter of deciding what kind of look I want for them. So let me find an arm. I want to find an arm that's basically just not really doing anything, for want of a better word. It's kind of prone, not really in the process of making any action. So here's a good example. This is what I was after. So I can basically do this. The next thing is to make sure that it's gonna not interfere with the hull. My desire to do a unique looking army is going to be an absolute bane going forward, isn't it? Because it's just gonna end up causing me lots of different things that I need to do to get it to look perfect. Let's see. I think I need to get this shoulder pad off first so that I can position the arm how I want it. And I've just realised the reason that arm's not going on properly is because it's the wrong side. Let me try and... Okay, try that again, shall I, without messing myself up? I need to make sure that these arms clear the turret. I want this guy to feel like he's in command as well, so he's literally got one arm up. Now, what am I going to do with the other arm? Let's find another arm. I've actually got an arm, there it is, that's got a interesting position to it, so a kind of more in a commanding position. I'm going to see if I can make that fit as well. See, if it's struggling to sit in there comfortably, then I'll build up the inside of the turret so that it rises him up a bit. You can tell I've stripped these models down because they've got like gunk in certain positions. You can strip down a model, but actually dissolving glue can be a lot more difficult. Okay, now I'm going to pop back on a shoulder guard. See, I've been looking at these shoulder guards on the Saar, and I have to admit the shoulder guards themselves are an interesting look, and I'm wondering if I can replicate this on the actual model, so on the Rogal Dorn. See, I'd really like the Rogal Dorn to feel... Oh gosh, why is this not going on? I think I need to go get a cleaner shoulder pad than that one. Let's see if I can find one. There we go. Try that one. the reason, as you might guess, I'm using stripped down models that I painted badly first time round, because I don't think I'd want to do this with brand new models, like digging into it and stripping it down and everything else you can imagine. Yeah, it'd be a waste of a new set of models, but something I'm not worried about on something that I painted badly, wanted to redo. Turn them into crew for this. You can see there's a slight pink hue to the plastic because they've been stripped down properly. Right. So he's going to sit in this kind of position. I'm sure this is a he. There's male and female of these. So my next little thing that I need to do is basically raise this up a bit, just a tiny bit, so he's a bit higher up. Now let me just check here. That might be an easy thing to do because there's most probably, yep, here we go. So here we have a way of rising him up, this number 21. Now, what I'll do, I'll just gently drop this in position. So what I'll probably need to do is basically chop off this set of legs. Stop sliding. Stop sliding. I think my hot day again, so my fingers are becoming a bit sliding a bit too much. Okay, so let's have a look at this now. I think that's going to hold it a bit better now. So if I, again, I'll just drop this in a second. Let's try and position it where it should be. There. Oh, hang on, this one. There, now he's a lot higher up. He's definitely in a better position. And then the next thing to do is obviously flatten it on this side. So that will stay stable. Great, okay, we're getting there. Be nice if I could get this out because I haven't glued it in. I think it's staying. I don't think I'm getting that out easily. Let's try. Okay, so first thing I'll do, I'll glue this in properly and get it secured in place. And then I'll decide his positioning. So I think I want him looking out over this direction. I think I still need to flatten this body out a bit, to be quite honest. It's time to get him glued and get him popped on. Okay, so now that I've got that sorted, I need to make sort of decisions about hands, basically, and what I want him to be doing with his hands. So I think, again, what I'll let's get a head on there first, because I think a head will help me guide this along a bit better. So let me make a nice choice of heads to begin with. Just see, I like this. I'm torn between this bald guy, or because he's got a mask on, he's got a bit of a gas mask on as well, or at least some kind of breathing mask, or potentially one of these type of heads where they look very commanding, you know. It's a tough choice, and you just gotta kind of see how things feel as you go. I think I'm gonna go for this breather mask. Right, now let's hope that I'm not gonna have any problems sitting this on. No, that seems fine. Now I need one of these here. So basically, these are a pain, these, by the way, on Saar. They constantly snapping all the time. Hate them. You're constantly fighting. Anyone who's got a Saar will tell you the same thing. They're a constant threat of just snapping off and disappearing. In fact, I have actually lost some of these, which really bothers me. Hell, I'd love to go up the stage even further here and actually have it somehow attached into the tank, but I think for now I'll just leave it like that. Okay, and now I just need to finish off his other hand, so I need to just decide what I'm doing with that. I think the other thing is putting a shoulder pad on the other side as well. He seems to be, need to get shoulder pad on this side just to finish this part up. Got the shoulder pads here somewhere. Literally just saw when I, there we go. My tweezers. I think I might need my tweezers to guide this one in. But just saw a bit of, gosh, my fingers are all over the place now. I think these things though, these particular, they're very interesting, these shoulder pads in design concept. They look like a bit of tyre, to be quite honest. They look like a tiny little tyre almost. And I'm just wondering how I could add that into the design of the tank, that pattern, that appearance. Right, time to I need something to go in that hand. I have to admit, a gun would be an easy solution here. However, don't really want a gun. You know, I want them to feel like they're actually Armour Company personnel. So what I'm going to do in order to get this right, let me have a look at what weapon options and hand options I've got on the sprues. So if we have a look at some of these here, I could potentially cut off certain hands. No. This one right here. Let me show you. Ooh, let me get it into shot. Hopefully you can see that. There's a pair of magnifying glasses. Now they might serve as a purpose. Let me check some other ones, because part of the problem with that is it looks like an imperfect hand. So let me see what else we can use. No, I think I'm going for that. So, because I've got this pointing hand, but I want to use that potentially on another model in the future. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to very carefully get this hand, get this arm out of the sprue here. I'm hoping that this will scale-wise match up, because sometimes Necromundan models look a bit small. So I'm going to cut it off a bit earlier than the actual hand itself. That way it gives me a bit of space to manipulate. Right, let me check that scale-wise. Yeah, looks okay. Slightly chunkier, to be quite honest, but I don't think it's such a big difference. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I think he's got quite a good look there. I think the only problem is I've realised that some of these fingers are damaged on here, but you know what? He's probably just caught his hand in the whole plating. That's my excuse. There we go. I'm happy with him. I think he looks all right. Looks like tank crew anyway. Now, time to do another piece of tank crew. So again, I'm going to be probably skimming off the part of this. Let me just see if I can, let me look here before I start chopping things up. But I'm going to take a number 13. Once again, I'm going to chop this body off. And then decide who's going to go in there. So let me first just secure this in. Okay, so if he's a spotter, then I suppose what I might want is someone who potentially looks like they're about to man the weapon. I want one of these masked-faced ones. I think they look really good. So I think I just just need to pick very carefully which one I'll be having here. So I'm wondering if I could get that attached to the weapon that comes up there. Let's see if I can build that stub gun. But before I do, I'm just going to have a quick check of other possible options. See, because we've got quite a few good options as far as these guys are concerned. And aside from anything else, we've also got a rather cool female model who I think would look really good out popping out the top of that. I'll have to probably cut her off though at the waist, because I think otherwise she'll be popping too high up. I think I better sort her arms out first, decide how her arms are going to be, and then work from there. See, don't mind giving this one a pistol actually, and just having her kind of feel like she's popping out to shoot. You know, it's not that bad if you've got like one model, it's just when they're all doing it on a tank it looks very strange. You can see here, this is where it's been glued in the past and it needs just tidying up. I've also got, you know, ugly chunks on the head and everything that I need to tidy up. Want to make that look a bit nicer. Right, yeah, so probably having a single weapon probably isn't that bad. You know, because it looks like popping out the hatch just to blast someone who's potentially coming up. Just making sure that the arms are in position first so I can work out how much I need to cut off. I think that's probably better if it's a bit further back. The only problem with that so far back is that shoulder pad looks like it's in the wrong place now. Let me reposition that as well. You can see what I've done is, before I broke these all down using, I stripped the paint completely off them. But you can see it kind of, you still end up with a bit of a stain, whether you like it or not. See if I could find an arm now that's pointing outwards for this. A Van Saar arm that's nicely pointing outwards. Got a very nice look. Now, let me check. See, the thing is with things like this is you just got to see what you like and then keep trying and playing around. Converting, you know, particularly the way I do things, is not a straight up obvious process. Is actually a lot of trial and error. Just thinking that actually if I do that, that might be quite useful. Just trying to see what arms work, because I really don't want this ending with a gun. This is the problem, but a lot of these Van Saar arms for that side are guns. It's kind of annoying actually. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see if there's something that doesn't end in a gun that I can utilise. Here we go. This one. Now this actually is part of a shield. It's like a shock shield. But let's see, because what you got to remember though is the female arms are slightly smaller. do have to make sure that they don't look a bit, one arm doesn't suddenly look significantly more masculine than the other. Yeah, it looks too masculine, that. Okay, I'm just gonna have to keep going until I can find the perfect appearance. What if I take that arm off? Nah, unfortunately I've got some arms that would do the job, but requires snapping things that I don't want to snap. Right, I'm gonna find something that works for this arm. Now, I think what I can do is I can probably actually just use the end of a gun arm, and then from the end of that gun arm, just sort of very carefully work the gun off it. So it's going to be, no, it's not going to work that. Okay, so this is what I've decided to do. I'm going to take this arm here and I'm just carefully going to remove the top part. Okay, and that leaves me with the end of it. Now, what that will enable me to do, hopefully, is just tailor this arm just slightly. Just check here. No, I'm really getting frustrated. I cannot find a small arm, small Van Saar arm, that doesn't have a weapon attached. It's a bit of a pain. Unfortunately, with the female gangers, you have to have a very specific arm size for them, and for some reason I just can't find a smaller one. Right, I think, yeah, it is very difficult with these because some of the arms just look far too big, unfortunately. I think actually I'm going back to this one here. So yeah, I think this one will work. I think I was looking at it wrong before, and I don't think it says kind of off size as all of that. What I do need to do is just clean the joint, clean up this side as well. Sometimes it's a good idea to plan your conversions. Yeah, I've just realised why this is actually a good arm for this, because it just ends in a solid joint, basically. There we go. That actually works. It might not seem it, but it at least looks like they're planning something as they've come out of the top hatch. Right, now I've got to flatten this off so that she'll sit comfortably inside the tank, but not too much. Because if I take away too much, she'll look like she's too far in, or her arms risk kind of knocking. I think I'll definitely be editing this video to take a lot of my umming and ahhing out, to say the least. Right. let's lower her in to make sure that she fits comfortably. She does now. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find her a ponytail, for want of a better word. These weird little techno ponytails that all the Van Saar have. Okay. So, well, ponytail. Glue keeps drying up, probably because it's such a hot day. And I think if I had a bit more time, or at least a feeling of a bit more patience, I'd probably physically attach these ponytails inside the tank itself. Oh, I've knocked that one. Absolutely terrified that what's going to happen is I'm going to knock the, you know, like when I'm spray painting this later on, I'm going to end up completely blowing parts off. I think I'm happy with that. I think I'm happy with the way that looks. It's got just the right appearance. Oh, yeah, that's a fine way to break everything apart after spending ages putting it together. Right. Now, decide exact positioning. Damn it, ponytail slid. There we go. Right, there we go. That's Van Saar crew finally done. It took far too long. I think I'm going to edit this video, definitely fix up a few of the long-winded parts, but there we go. So looking good. You know, obviously that took a lot of work to do, but I'm really happy with how it looks now. I think I've added a few special features to make it look like it's teched up. Right. Let's carry on then, adding on the few little bits that we need to, because I'm still not done after all of this. So I need 114, which is the stubber. These stub guns are perfect for anything, to make them feel like Necromundan stub guns are right up there. I need 108 and 109 to pop on either side of this. To here. So these attached to either side of this gun. You know, in some ways, I wish that they'd included some Death Corp alternative as well for this. So Death Corp crew, because they're with the Kill Team Veteran Guardsmen. I just feel like it's definitely a version that people would be going for. Maybe they'll add an extra sprue at some point. Okay, alright. Let's carry on. Now I need a 104 and a 105 to create the ammo box. Let's have a look. 104, 105, so there's 105. Let me find 104. It's going to be on here somewhere, isn't it? Well, if it is on here, it's being highly elusive. See what it looks like. Yeah, it's like the top. Oh, there it is. Hard to see, but it is there. I've reached a point where I'm dropping things now because my hands are tired. Gosh, nope, no good now. I think my hands have gone to sleep. I want to get this done so I can rest. Then it's going to pop into the side of the gun. And then it should quite happily attach here. There we go. Feeling like they should be swapped over because his arm would be closer to the gun. Never mind, I'll quite happily keep it like that. Looks like she's slamming in a cartridge anyway now. Now, on the back end, I'm going to find that little 112 and I'm going to pop that on. Not even sure what this is, but that's what's going to go on the back here. Okay, nicely popped in. Okay, now, you know what? I think, let me just go through very, very quickly to make sure there's nothing else I can add to this turret. No, I think that's it for now, because I think the rest is like kind of bolt-on add-ons that, you know, will not really, you know, which are best off not putting on until the end. And I think right now I've got, you know, a couple of nice little crew members. You know, got my one, well, I suppose you look like she's slamming in a new cartridge, and the other one who's setting up, you know, spotting with his binoculars. So there we go. I think I'm happy with the kind of key parts of this so far. Now, I think what I'll do is I'm going to decide on a weapon. As much as I could magnetise these, it's an easy job to magnetise them. I want to make a choice, and I think I'm going for this one. I think this looks nice. So, twin battle cannons. So I think that gives me a very clear, nice solid appearance. Right, so I think the next things that I really need to look at on my next video, because I can see here there's like a couple of things that I don't like. For a start, there's a gap there that's unbelievable, and I hate that. I'm going to fill those in with modelling putty, but I won't do those on this video. I'll leave that to the next one when I start showing how to do welding joints and things like that. And I think obviously then I'm going to start looking at how I can add things to it to make it actually look like a Saar tank. Other than that, I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.